Oh, okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. That was almost adequate. Almost. When somebody's nice enough on a cold April evening to say Shabbat Shalom, may you be filled with Shabbat wholeness and peace. It's customary to return the greeting. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. We're doing things a little bit differently tonight because it's the fifth Friday. And the fifth Friday, we usually have a 6 o'clock service, which is a little brief and a little less formal. But last week, we didn't even have a service at all because it was the first night of Passover. And the first night of Passover, we don't have a service, so everybody can be so busy during all the things they do for Seder. Anybody go to a Seder this year? Raise your hand if you're, anybody find an Afikoman this year? Anybody? Okay, very, very good. Get something good, I hope. And boom, the week is over. We as Reformed Jews are going to end Passover when we begin Shabbat tonight, and we get ready to have an incredible weekend with Abigail and her bat mitzvah and her family in from all over. But because the choir didn't get to sing last week, we're delighted that some of them were able to come to the early service to sing with us tonight. And so you're going to hear arrangements, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't sing if they're arrangements that you know. So we're going to begin with actually a very old version of one of the love songs from the Song of Songs. The Song of Songs is read most Fridays before the Shabbat service begins, and it's also very much part of the Passover tradition that we sing Dodi Li. Now, if you open your prayer books, you find a prayer book that looks like this. It's Hebrew opening, from right to left, and if you find page 11 at the top, you'll find the words Dodi Li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim. My beloved is mine, and I am my beloved who browses among the lilies. This version was written by Debbie Friedman, our beloved song leader, who wrote it way back in the 70s. Abigail, will you please bring your parents up to the front of the pulpit here for the beginning of our service with the lighting of candles and the sanctification of wine for Kiddush. It's our custom that everybody please rise for those prayers. We find them on page 2 and 3 of our prayer book. Okay, they're going to come up first. Here we go. Here, you're going to read this. Come here. I want you to read these two small paragraphs right here. Let's see.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 4 with the introduction to Kiddush. Abigail's going to be doing Kiddush in just a moment. I'll do the introduction. Here you go. Can you get the cup? Vahi erev vahi boker yom hashishi, and there was evening and morning the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikrai kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu acharta, ve'yotanu kidasha, mikohanim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Have a drink. It's just juice. Now, you hand her off the cup. Look at me a second. Look at Cantor Berman, because she wants you. She heard your voice, and she wants you standing over there with them. You're invited to be in what's the intergenerational choir. There's already one younger generation there, and we'd love to have you sing with us. If there's time, if you can, we'd love to have you. Mazel, mazel, mazel tov. Will everybody please be seated? There you go. Great. If you look at page 6, going from right to left, you'll see a responsive reading in the middle of the page that talks about what we aspire to be as a community. We read, may the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
Now, responsive means this is the interactive portion of the show. So if you open your book, you'll be able to follow the words, page 6 in the middle. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
And on the next page, page 8, we see a prayer about gratitude, which we have for this holiday and the Shabbat. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We turn ahead in our books
Page 12.
to page 12. On page 12, you'll find the first of the Psalms that are traditionally associated with Friday night called Kabbalat Shabbat. And this is called, reverse strap syndrome there. So I think we can get this. So this is a version we do often here. The transliteration of the Hebrew, that is the rendering of Hebrew into English letters and sounds, is right to the left of all of the Hebrew that is there. This is called Lechu Neranena. It goes like this. Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Ladonai. Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu,
בזמירות מריעלו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני.
On page 20, you'll find the most beloved of all Shabbat evening songs. It's called Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi is may the beloved come forward. May the bride, the presence of Shabbat, be with us. If you are clever students of Hebrew, you will see that the first letter in Hebrew of each of the verses forms a name. Shlomo Halevi, Shlomo Alkabetz wrote this 500, almost 600 years ago, and it's still sung all over the world through all denominations. In our last verse, it's a tradition for us to rise and face the rear. I'll indicate when that happens. And at the very last words of the last verse, Boi Chala, may the bride come in. We bow to there as if maybe the bride will come in through that door, or maybe the bride will come through the alley this week. We don't know. But we will bow to the presence of Shabbat as it comes into our midst.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha hishmianu, le'al miyuchad Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, shemo tiferet v'li tila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat לכו ונרחקים מכל עבירה מראש מקדם ניסוחה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורי, ומיורי, אורי, אורי, שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת פלן גם בשמחה, ובצוהלה תוכם ובני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
On the next page, 22, you'll find Psalm 92, in Hebrew, Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, the Psalm for the Sabbath day. It's our custom here to read the English together up to the indent. And now we make sure that you're paying attention, because at the indent, they're going to move to the indented Hebrew. Tzadik katama yifrach, the righteous shall bloom like a date palm. But let's read the English together up to the indent toward the bottom of 22.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai! How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Sanctificata Maria, Betulim bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Odinun beseva, deshenim rananim yiyu, v'hagit ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatav.
And we complete this preliminary section, having talked about the Shabbat bride, we go to the angels. And we hope that the angels of our better nature will be with us on the Shabbat, that the angels will guide us to kind words, to loving thoughts, to sharing the best of ourselves. The Shalom Aleichem is found on page 24. And this is actually really the last big serious piece that Debbie Friedman ever wrote. She believed, because I spoke with her about it, that this would be what she would be remembered for even more than her Misha Berach. That the aching melody, wanting the angels in our lives. Shalom Aleichem. If you know the tune, please join in.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvchem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shalom
Please turn ahead to 26 and rise for the Chatzi Kaddish, which is the Aramaic prayer that separates this part of the service from the beginning part of the call to worship.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ויעלמן יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון ובמכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם היה מהמיה יתברך וישבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלן שמי דקודשה ברכו לי אלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
We continue on page 28 with Baruch Hu, the call to worship.
La 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. La 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 la. La 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 la.
On page 30, in the middle of the Hebrew, there is the, I think it's about 8 lines down. It's after the really, really long word.
Nine lines.
Oh, it's 9 lines down?
Just count it, yes. Just count it.
Okay.
Don't trust my numbers, though.
It's the one that's after the really, really long word, for sure. It says, Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. You roll light away from darkness, or you create day and night, roll light away from darkness and darkness from light. And so we're going to sing a song with the words, roll into, now I've forgotten all of my words. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night, and then we'll continue with those two Hebrew lines.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
Now you can pick your part.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, kol Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. On page 32, we join together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Turn the page.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We're on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On the facing page, page 37, we join together in English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act.
Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
On page 39, a very appropriate passage for this season. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. We continue with Micha Mocha on page 40.
Please join us. מי כמוך בנים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עוז ופלא, נורא תהילות עוז Miriam, Zeli, Zeli, Anu, Amru, Adonai, Vivok, Le'olam Vaed. ונאמר כיפת אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
If you turn the page to page 42, we have the words of Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
Abigail's coming up because this section of the service is ended, and the pivot point is a section from Exodus 31, 16, 17 on the next page called Vishamru, which is part of the Friday night service, and it's a delight to have Abigail sing it, and we're going to sing in the chorus, you'll do the verse, okay? Pick a good key, we'll all sing along, and I'll even turn off my mic so we can hear you.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Bein Yuvain b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Ki sheishat yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim va'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Uvayom hashvivi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit
Olam. Now, usually we have somebody here from the youth group to help out and give a present, a gift to start off your youth group experience. I'm going to get to do that today because I'm an old youth grouper. She's an old youth grouper. We're a bunch of old youth groupers here. This says party, which is not a verb here. It is actually a noun. Party stands for Pittsburgh Area Reformed Temple Youth. On the back it says Temple Sinai, opening doors to Judaism. Let's see how it looks on you. There you go. Show everybody.
And the nice thing about the noun is that it also works as the verb. So at party, we party.
And you know, you're a Camp Harlem person. We have stuff from Camp Harlem for you too. This is your own challah cover that they sent all the way from camp. Are you going this year? You are? What session? First or second? First. I'll miss you. I'll be usually second session when I'm on faculty. But I want you to, you can take that off if you want. Take that, and we're looking forward. You have such a beautiful voice and such a wonderful spirit. We're really looking forward to you leading services tomorrow and reading Torah and doing everything else for your bat mitzvah. There we go. And take your letter, too.
You can even keep the We continue on page 46 with the central section of our service, the Amidah. Please rise as you are able. Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'konei Hakol וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב ומושיע מוריד אתה מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom ya'alelu chasera. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. On page 55, we join together at the top of the page.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod.
At the top of page 59, we join together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift
Gifts
of life, wonder
beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulechana el hodot.
On page 60, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ki atahu melech Adon v'chol ha'shalom. Ki atahu melech Adon v'chol ha'shalom. V'tov einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Having just offered a prayer for peace, we use the peace that has really fallen over this room to turn inward and offer the words of our own hearts to God, to ourselves, to whoever needs to hear them. Because the words that we've said together as a community, while perhaps words that we would like to offer ourselves, are not just the words that we have inside of our hearts. So we take a few moments now for silent prayer.
It's our long-held custom, even when we don't read Torah, which is traditional time to do a special prayer of healing, we do a Mishnah Berurah prayer every week because we know that some people can't be here for the morning service. And all of us carry the challenge and burden of our hearts of people who are not whole, people who are not well, people who may not get better, people who we hope there's a path, if not to curing, at least to being healed in body and spirit together. There's so many in our hearts tonight, and we're going to take a moment as I look out into your part of the congregation. We'll do the choir last. Please feel free to mention the name of somebody for whom you are wishing healing tonight. And if you don't want to say it out loud and put it in the air, just hold that name close in your heart. If you want to say the Hebrew name, Hebrew names are usually a person, son or daughter of someone else. For Torah, we call them the name of fathers. For healing, we call them the name of mothers. And so if there's somebody in your world, in your life, in your circle, in your heart, that for whom you wish healing tonight, please feel free to share the name as we go through the congregation. Just call it out. Don't wait your turn. Robin Iddigson, Rachel Bat Hertig, Joan Shames.
Mindy Jones.
Barbara Dahlberg. Martin Allison.
And Rita Haber. We're on page 253 in the book. It's Hebrew and English. It's a very singable tune. If you feel moved, please feel free to sing the prayer with us. If not, let it wash over you. And the thoughts of healing for those in your life who need help, strength, and healing of body, mind, and spirit.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu, Mekora bracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. When I was much younger, I was told by my elders that time would speed up. And I said, that's silly. How long hours can be in the middle of a Sunday afternoon. And yet, a blink ago, there was Seder at my house with 23 people. And boom, it's gone. A week ago, I was thinking, how do I like to eat matzah? Because you must do things to matzah. Matzah basically tastes like the box that it came in. With butter and salt, marvelous. And, you know, when I was a kid, my mother would make a very extensive fruit compote. If you don't know what a fruit compote is, it is like a liquid thing of plums and pears and prunes and things like that. And my mother would say, eat the compote. And I would say, but I don't like the compote. She would say, eat the compote. And it's a truth that has only in the last 10 years been understood by me internally. Someday, you'll know to eat the compote. It's a period between now, Passover, and 7 weeks from now, what Christians call Pentecost, what we call Shavuot, the time from the leaving of the Egyptian slavery to the time of receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai, 7 weeks. And our rabbis tell us we're supposed to study. We're supposed to study a particular work of the rabbinic wisdom called Pirkei Avot. Pirkei Avot literally means chapters of the fathers, and from it we get pure ethics. Most people think that rabbinic wisdom is all about law. How do we do this? What should we do or not do? But there is so much wisdom, we're supposed to read one chapter a week. Right, Mitchell? Right. Thank you. I knew you knew that, but I just wanted an affirmation there. It was a rabbi in the first century who lived at the same time of Jesus who wrote the following words of wisdom. Put your own oxygen mask on first. Now, I have the Hebrew up there. You can look for the Hebrew oxygen mask, but you won't find it. What he did say was, Im ein ani li mi li. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? In other words, if I don't put on my oxygen mask first, I am incapable of helping those in my life who may need help. And some people say, but it's selfish. I should go out and help others. But if you are not fit, if you are not well, if you are so weak, if you are so damaged on the inside or the outside that you cannot stand, you are of no help to anyone else. Hillel, the elder, said, Im ein ani li mi li. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But he follows it right up. He says, Uksha'ani la'atzmi mani. But if I'm only for myself, not who am I, but what am I? What kind of being am I if I am only concerned with myself? And that balance of self-regard, not selfishness, but self-regard and selflessness is a constant dynamic tension. You will learn in a few years when you learn to drive that you cannot put your hands in the 10 and 2 position and leave them there frozen. You must constantly adjust. And that's what Hillel asked us to do. Constantly adjust between taking care of ourselves, which must be done first, but knowing that if we only take care of ourselves, if we only care about our own Powerball ticket, what are we? We don't even merit the status of a human being. And the third wisdom he adds to that, he says, "Ve'im lo achshav imatai." If not now, if not now when? These three great questions. Who will be for me? What am I? If not now, when? And we resolve to tackle them. We resolve not to put them off as we move away from the edge of the sea, where just this morning we escaped. We read it. It was very exciting this morning, wasn't it, Mimi? Very exciting. We got through. With all the doubters, with all the problems, we got through. And our tradition, I'm not the first to say this, going through the sea with walls of water on either side, a narrow place, is compared to birth itself. To go through that narrow passage and come out free on the other side, independent, no longer a slave, no longer a limb of someone else. But babies have a hard time functioning out in the wilderness, and that's why they need guidance. So we're guided step by step to a place called Sinai, Mount Sinai, for which this place is named. There are more Reformed synagogues called Sinai than any other name, because we all aspire to be the place where people find God's word and God's law. The message I want to give you tonight may already have been what I just said. Im ein ani li mi li, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? Uksha'ani l'atmi ma'ani, if I'm only for myself, what am I? Im lo achshav imatai, if not now when. But I want to leave you with a nugget of rabbinic thinking. I don't want you to say, oh, they had some lovely singing, which was terrific. We had an incredible bat mitzvah student, and the congregation came together from San Francisco and Jacksonville, Illinois. I mean, just an amazing aggregation of a congregation. When we bring out the Torah tomorrow, we're going to sing Al Shosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed. That's from this chapter of Pirkei Avot. On three things does the world stand. Does anybody know what they are? Al Ha-Torah, on the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. Ba'al Ha-Avodah, on worship of God. Ba'al Gemilut Chasadim, on acts of loving kindness. But there's a problem. At the very end of the chapter, we're told by another, Shimon ben Gamliel, that there are 3 other things the world resides on: judgment, truth, and peace. And the rabbis say, which is it? Because the rabbis, if they can find something to argue about it, they're happy for days, weeks, years. There's something to argue about. Which is more important? Torah, worship, and acts of loving kindness, or judgment, truth, and peace? And the rabbis, in their inimitable way, find a way through. They say God considered Torah, worship, and acts of loving kindness as the pillars of the world when God created it. For us living in the world, we require judgment, we require truth, we require peace. We have to start with Hillel. When we talk about our own lives, we have to judge ourselves honestly. We have to tell the truth. And even though it's difficult, that will lead us to a wholeness that we call peace. The brilliant physicist Richard Feynman said, the most important thing in this world is not to fool yourself. Unfortunately, you are the easiest one to fool. So God already did God's part, making possible Torah, worship, and acts of loving kindness. It's up to us to be judgmental even of ourselves, to be truthful even to the point of discomfort, knowing that in the end, we will find a way to peace and wholeness. We will find a way from the brittleness of the matzah to the richness of the bread. In just a few minutes, when we say our final blessing, we're not having matzah crackers. We declared it to Shabbat. We declared the end of the holiday. We're back to animal crackers. Yes. So, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, what am I? If not, now when? The world was created on 3 things by God: on Torah, worship, and deeds of compassion. And we sustain it ourselves by acts of judgment, of truth, and of peace. Sounds like a life plan to me. Together, let's not only take them inside, but share them with each other as we take our next step away from Pesach toward Shavuot, away from the sea, and toward the mountain of Sinai. Amen. Well, that journey is marked by counting. And if you, I have it right up here. We're great minds thinking alike. So if you look in your book on page 278, we count these days. It's called the counting of the Omer. Omer means a sheaf. It is the actual time of planting in the spring and the harvesting by Shavuot. And this tonight is going into tomorrow is the 7th day of the Omer. And so if you look at 278, it says, Hineni muchanu muzuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat ha'omer. And if you are ready to do this with me, read in the middle where it says in English, I am ready. Read it with me. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kidshana b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who houses us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom hashvi'i yom hayom shvi'i shehem shezer shavua echat yamim la'omer. This is the 7th day, which is 1 week of the counting of the Omer. We have one of the trials of civilization called announcements, so I ask you to bear with me. Nobody's going anywhere this Sunday. The marathon's going on, just so you know. You're all frozen in place. I hope you have a good party, breakfast lined up so that everybody can just enjoy themselves. Cantorial music here at Temple Sinai is underwritten in part by a very generous grant from Edgar Snyder. And we thank all of our volunteers this Shabbat. Tonight's pre-Oneg was sponsored by the women of Temple Sinai. and Lauren and Christopher in honor of Abigail's bat mitzvah. Yay! Torah study tomorrow is in the Falk Library. We are going to suspend our regular subject of Torah and do 6 weeks of Pirkei Avot study. 3 weeks, the next 3 weeks we'll be studying before Minyan, and the following 3 weeks after that, we will be studying after Minyan as well. The informal Shabbat service is going to be at 9:15. Abigail, 10:30, okay? Be here? Good. Be here at 10. We are so excited. Temple Sinai is celebrating our 70th anniversary this year under the leadership of our honorary chairs, Bob and Ellen Katzen. We'd like you to watch the website, our Doorways booklet, and your email for more information. Things coming up. This coming Monday, the 2nd, is the last day of teen school, and youth group elections are taking place. And Wednesday is the last day of Hebrew school. Saturday, the 14th, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Dr. and Rabbi Mark Rosenstein from the Galilee, who does an amazing project of Arab-Jewish cooperation. They have an Arab-Jewish teen circus up in the Galilee. He's going to be studying with us in the morning and being with us for the Shabbat morning service. We're going to host a Shabbat on that very same day for families with young children on the 14th from 9:15 to 11:15. Watch for more information. On the 16th of this month, coming month, is the annual meeting. You're all welcome to celebrate the year we've had together. The Bracha Center for Jewish Connections now offers bereavement support for those who have lost people dear to them. Please call the office to Judy Mahan to find out more information. And our big thing at the end of May is May 22nd. It's Mitzvah Day. We're involved in at least 15 different projects throughout the community to make this world a better place, to do all the things to affect the values that I just talked about in my talk tonight. More information is found on pieces of paper. I think they're blue in the Krieger lobby. A very special thanks to Jeremy and Ellen and our choir tonight. This is not your usual week or your usual time. And I know some of you rush like crazy to get here. We thank you for your beautiful music and how you lifted our spirits tonight. If you look in your prayer book at page 282, in the middle of the page, you'll find our concluding set of prayers, starting with a prayer called Aleinu in the middle, for which we all rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon
hakol, l'tekru la'liotzehem reishit, shelo asanu k'layei aratzot,
ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
If you look in your books on page 288, you'll see a brief reading of memory before the Mornis Kaddish. 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We mentioned those in the last week whose yahrzeits, the year anniversary of their deaths, are commemorated. If I say the name of somebody for whom you are saying Kaddish tonight, we'll ask you to rise so we can recognize you as a mourner. Henny Adelsheimer, Matthew Arkin, Sonny Babkis, and Milton Blank, Rebecca Bleiberg, Joseph Chodok, and Arthur Cohen, Ilsa Cohen and Laura Michelle Kolker, Edmund Dilworth Jr. and Stanley Freed, Ray Radwin Galpern, Elsie Giffen, and Eleanor Goldblatt, Samuel Goldblum and Daniel Hammerschmidt, Jenny Hanlon, Stanford Isaacson, Florence Oppenheimer Kramer and Edward Kravitz, Lena Krieger and Leonard Levin, Anna F. Levitt, William Lewis and Marty Lichtenstein, Shirley Lieberman and Jean Lilienthal, Goldie Darling Love, Louis Maybach and Joshua Myers, Ludwig Ottenheimer and Michael Schlesinger, Elizabeth S. Schmerling, Frank Schwartz Sr., Adeline Silberstein and Ada Smith, Jerome Solomon and Louis Steinbach, Norma Stockman and Morris T. Tabor, Helen Tenenhauser, Fanny Toshinsky, Harry Waldholtz, and Albert Wolk, and Helen Jaffe Wolk. And now we remember those whose recent deaths we still mourn. Helen Goldberg, Lori Goldstein-Hass, Susie Gross, Esther Tucker, and Helen Blair. It's our custom that no mourner should ever need to stand alone, so I ask the congregation to rise, to accompany our mourners as we turn to 294, and all who will may join a mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yom adivrach hirute v'yom lich malchute. B'chayechon v'yom echon, chaye d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kari v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei omaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei d'kudesha mrichu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechmata. Damiran b'yalma v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleina ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleina ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, upon all Israel, upon a world terribly broken and in need of healing and peace, upon all of us here who still mourn our beloved dead, as together we say, Amen. Please remain standing, and before our final song, I neglected to announce that this Thursday night at the Jewish community at 7 o'clock will be our annual commemoration of Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Memorial Day. We hope to see many of you there at that time. We're going to be singing for our final song, Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira can be found in your books on page 200, I can't read that. 339 at the very bottom. Hava Nashira, all it means is let us sing a song of praise, hallelujah. It's a lot of fun. And our choir, I know they don't even need their music for this, do they? Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir
Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah,
Baruchim atem b'voachem, baruchim atem b'tzeitchem me'etav ad olam. May be blessed every place you come in. May be blessed every place you go out to. As together we all say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei mizonot. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, ruler of all, who makes animal crackers. But together we say, Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Take as many as you want.
Shabbat shalom.
You got my message about no service.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. I'll get the thing to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure.